Dragons, Wizards, Witches and Muggles, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. I am here at the Harry Potter Photographic exhibition in London, and I am joined with the lovely James and Oliver Phelps, who you may recognise as Fred and George from the Harry Potter films. Firstly, I want to start with, how are you both?
Yeah. Very good, thanks. That's an intro. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bigged up there. Happy about that. Yeah. We're doing very well, thank you.
Cool. Well, I thought I would start with a little icebreaker, because you don't know me, but I know you guys very briefly, because I thought you might want to see this photograph of what I'm wearing.
Really?
Yeah, we went to the same.
Hey, what house is that?
Gloucester.
Nice.
What house were you? A?
Yeah, at least you're A block. That's all right.
Yeah, what
Everyone
house?
else go, what the hell are you on?
Yeah, so we have houses in schools in Britain. A lot of Americans don't believe that that's a thing, but we went to the same schools. I think you were 4 years above me, and I remember when there was a lot of hype about you guys because you just got your part in Harry Potter, and I remember you in your grey sixth form sweatshirts. Yeah. So I thought that was a bit of fun trivia. It's a small world. It's a very, very small world. But let's get to the questions. So I have been asked many things. So these are the burning questions from my magical online family. And I think I'm going to start with, now obviously as the Weasley twins, you were both Gryffindors. Have you actually done the sorting ceremony on the official Harry Potter fan club app? And if so, what Hogwarts house are you?
I've got to be honest, right? I cheated.
You cheated?
I cheated.
I'm not sure that's allowed.
Well, they
surely that puts you into a house if you cheat.
Slytherin.
Yeah.
I was literally there going, not Slytherin, what's the answer? Anyway, I ended up getting Gryffindor.
Okay.
So I was happy with that
well,
one.
That's good. What about you?
I'm a Hufflepuff.
You're a Hufflepuff. I love Hufflepuffs.
Yep.
They're great. Okay.
Good taste.
So, what traits do you think that you share with your characters, Fred and George?
I think we are.
I don't think
friendly.
Are you mischievous?
Yes,
yeah,
definitely mischievous.
Definitely.
Like to have a laugh. That's definitely one of them. We like to make I suppose make an environment a bit comfortable.
So you felt quite comfortable playing Fred and George because it wasn't too far from who you are?
Not originally.
No?
Not initially. The first year, so the first film, I was very shy.
Okay.
I was very happy to be one of the crowd, like, at the back.
Yeah.
Not bothered. But then playing a character like Fred really made me become
Come out
outgoing.
of your shell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then,
oh, that's fantastic.
Here we are.
So what was the worst and best thing about working together as siblings on a set?
Best thing would be knowing when you had lines.
Right.
That's probably one of the better ones because it's
Cheers.
you got lines there? I've got lines. And worst thing is, for some reason, there was some. I remember there was this one driver in particular who would always just say, "You say, how you doing? Yeah. How's your brother?" It would always be that. How are you?
Always, how's your twin?
How's your brother? Yeah.
Oh,
scarred.
it's quite sad.
Maybe you just knew that I was,
well, yeah, all right.
the nicer guy.
Okay, so I think I might know the answer to this already, but this was asked a lot. And it was, did you ever switch places without the crew knowing and play each other's parts?
No, is the short answer. So in basically, as you will see if people came to the photographic exhibition here in Covent Garden, London.
Yep.
Just going to say that. You'll see how many members of the crew were there. And
massive family.
Exactly. So there was, I think the last film, there was 18 minutes worth of credits. And if you're the one person that's messing around, that means that a lot of those people have to work another day or another hour. Do you know what I mean?
So it would be an expensive prank.
Exactly. And you probably wouldn't work again. So we did it once in rehearsal in the Great Hall. And you know the Great Hall scene shots where there's like 300 people in the shot. So when we're rehearsing that, we could get away with it. But we said that once in an interview, and ever since then it went viral. Yes, they switched roles and they had to reshoot the movie.
The whole last movie and all this rubbish. Elaboration.
Okay, so are you still in touch with any of the other Weasleys in real life?
Yeah, we are actually. Yeah, quite good. We're actually talking with Bonnie the other day. Obviously Rupert a bit earlier in the year, we were chatting with him, and it's just, as I say, so I think like when you've got that, I suppose just filming so much together for a long time, it's like people you went to school with or went to university with, you kind of, although you may not do things together in terms of a work environment or anything like that, you still keep in contact.
And I guess you've got that such a massive shared experience on something on such an epic scale.
I think so. It's still fun. When you say it, though, so we're chatting to Bonnie, but it's still hi sis, hey bro.
Yeah.
Like it's funny. It's not like it's.
Sweet.
I don't even know why that is, but I think it's just.
The thing. It started once, and then I think one of us said it as a joke, and it's just kind of just stuck there.
So I would love to know what your favourite lines that you had. If you could pick one favourite that you had from the movies, what would it be?
One line.
Mischief managed.
That's a classic.
Everyone can say
It's
that.
iconic.
Everyone can use that one.
I'll accept that answer.
I've seen it graffiti. Like I remember I was in a bar once in, I think it's Hungary Country in LA.
Yeah.
And someone had literally graffitied "Mischief managed" above.
And I'm sure
where I was
loads of
sitting,
people have got it tattooed to themselves.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Does that
that's
feel like really weird?
I think when I try and think back to when we were doing that scene on the third film, and saying those lines, I didn't think that anyone would take it that much.
That far.
Like my granddad always said, that'll be a big scene for your characters type thing. But I never thought we'd see people have it as wedding vows, as graduation stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like all this whole thing, say tattooed. So it's taken on a life of its own, which is really cool.
That's so awesome. Another one that I really want to know is what was your favourite memory from filming any of the Harry Potter films? Can be behind the scenes. Is there anything that's kind of sticks out in your mind that you're like, yeah?
There's a few, isn't there, what we did?
There's a few because like we're filming them for 10 years.
10 years, yeah, whole decade.
So.
So it's 8 films, 10 years.
8 films, 10 years.
I mean, there was one where we were. So we had where the studio tour now is. That used to be just empty space. So it's basically just like wasteland, pretty much. And we had a bit of AstroTurf, and we would hit golf balls to it. And we realised that it was 230 yards to the fence, 300 yards to clear, 310 to where they're building the new BT call centre offices. So we realised, downwind, driver, you can clear that. And are they really going to listen to if they call the police and say, yeah, the Weasleys are smashing golf balls at me?
I was about to say,
are they going to believe that?
It sounds very Fred and George behaviour.
Yeah, so that would be.
Okay, you've gone flat. I was going to say it sounds really silly, but learning to do the waltz in the fourth film,
there's a lot of
Fire,
steps.
But I'd have no reason to ever do that. Like that's not like I was that time. I was in the rock. Like we'd go to the rock clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
So the end of the Yule Ball was fantastic because there was a proper rock concert as well.
Yeah.
In fact, our direction from Mike Newell, the director, was I want you to start a mosh pit.
Easy.
Got
it down.
So we got to learn to ballroom dance and then have an amazing rock concert at the end. So the Yule Ball, that whole 2 weeks of filming, that was a lot of fun.
That sounds pretty epic. So I'm a collector. I've got a massive Harry Potter collection at home. I've got an entire wall. And I want to know, was there an item in particular that you'd wished that you'd be able to keep from the films? Or maybe you snuck something off set and you've still got it?
Yeah, there's 2 things which I wish I could have kept. One would definitely be the wand.
You didn't get to keep
No,
the
we had
wand?
to give them all back, which I was gutted about. I really thought the last day of filming...
Have you got some of the replica ones from Noble Collection?
Yeah, but they're not
as good.
Well, no, they are, but they are. But you want the real thing.
You want the
the
authentic one that you used on the sets,
Yeah.
absolutely.
When it's got trademark on the other side, it's not really...
But you can still see them at the studio tour in London.
They're still there. That's why we didn't get them, because they're on the studio tour now. And another one, I know it sounds really ostentatious, I suppose, but the massive head outside Weasley's Wizard of Weasleys.
Yes.
I don't know where I'd put it.
At least you get to go see it at the studio tour.
Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing is that Diagon Alley is exactly like it was when we filmed in it, in terms of how close it is and everything like that. It's one of my
favourite parts at the studio tour. Yeah. So obviously you're not natural redheads, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Do you miss having red hair?
I can't say I miss or don't miss it. Like it was part of
part
of what we did.
Yeah.
But I don't miss having to dye it every 3 weeks.
You know what? I actually had my hair bright Weasley orange probably about a year ago. It's very high maintenance, so
it's at the very most. At the very most, it's like every 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, you need it doing. Yeah.
Especially when you've got this much hair.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So I'd also like to know, who were you closest to on the sets of Harry Potter? Was there anyone in particular that you were best friends with the most, or was it kind of a bit of everyone? Crew, cast?
Yeah, I mean, cast-wise, we're all pretty tight, as it were. I mean, Youngblood, who played Lee Jordan in the first 2, ironically, he's still one of our best mates.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the character's the best mate of Fred and George as well, so that was
that's nice. It's kind of
that's quite fun.
Carried on.
Yeah, so obviously Luke, and then all the other usual suspects you'd imagine from the cast.
Yeah.
And then crew-wise, so Anthony, who was Rupert's double, he was my best man at my wedding.
Oh,
as well as
Oliver.
But then, yeah, just like different crew members, which, again, going back to the photos of people in this exhibition, you can see how many people worked on it. So I've already sent quite a few photos to these people because they're all obviously working, so they look a bit serious. So.
Well, I've just had a little walk through the exhibition, and it's so nice to see all the behind the scenes and, you know, to kind of put a shining spotlight on people that aren't just the cast, because you know you've got the hair and makeup, visual effects, special effects, directors, camera ops, and everything. So it's really nice to see that as a fan. I think that's pretty special, and I can't wait to have a proper look at everything. Okay, so how did it feel when you guys wrapped for the final time after 10 years together on that set with everyone that you worked for? It was worked with.
It was all right, to be honest with you. It was like we knew it was happening. Yeah. And it was kind of like literally like last day of school.
It was weird for different. The reaction was exactly like last day of school because some people were crying.
Yeah.
When it was their final day, we were like, okay, well, not shrug shoulders, but you know what I mean? Like it was like we knew it was coming, so it was like, this is cool. And at the time, they were. So our final scene that we ever shot was, you know, when Fred and George were looking over the battlements. And that was the last thing we ever shot as Fred and George. But the outside, so they knocked down the studios and rebuilt the state-of-the-art one, which is there now.
Yeah.
So literally, there were literally bulldozers outside, not manned and ready to they were there ready to, because they knew that as soon as we were the last shot to be filmed in that stage, they were going to bulldoze it. So we knew we weren't coming back because we couldn't.
It was pretty final. But the weirdest part I noticed is because we've actually lived in a hotel when we were filming, and it was checking out of the hotel for the last time. That's when it got me. Not emotional. I wasn't like crying while I was checking out.
I guess it was.
But it was home. Like it was like I suddenly found myself taking in the environment of the place, you know. But then, had I been told at the time, well, you'll be doing stuff like quite often to do with the films, be it the studio tour, be it the Wizarding World in America, like the theme parks, be it the premieres, be it stuff like this going on as well. And so it still keeps us in and around
you're still
it.
very submerged in the magical world even today, which is awesome.
Which is cool. And I think it's great though because it kept. We always thought that the films were finished being made at the right time. Yeah. That they left on the peak of their the popularity pretty much. Yeah. And I think because it didn't dwindle or anything like that, it finished at the very peak. People still hold it in such high regard, and they bring their kids up on it, or teachers teach it at school and loosely bring it around to their.
I mean, it's going to be going on for decades. I think it's going to become a pretty iconic, classic. I mean, it kind of already is.
Which is your favourite one?
Book.
Both.
Oh, and film. Oh. See, I've always said The Philosopher's Stone because that's where the magic begins, and that's where you're kind of introduced to it. But I also really like The Prisoner of Azkaban. Mm-hmm. Book, I am going to stick with The Philosopher's Stone because that's where it starts, and I've reread that more times than I can count.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So I was thinking with The Prisoner of Azkaban, I'm completely ruining it.
Oh, no, go for it.
You know our book smells?
Yeah.
You know, it has that smell. The Prisoner of Azkaban was what I was reading when we got when we went for the first audition.
No way.
So that smell of a book always reminds me of the summer of 2000 when we went for that first audition.
That's insane. That's so sweet, though. Okay, so we are here at the Harry Potter Photographic exhibition today, and I'm keen to know, what is your favourite part that you've seen so far today here?
Here today, I think one is when you walk in as well. It's not. I honestly thought when we were going to see it, it would literally be some pictures in a big white gallery.
Yeah, it's huge here,
and it's totally different than that. It's really immersive. It's you walk in and you're kind of like it navigates you round, and you've got it's not just like right here's the first film, here's the second film. It's all over the place, so you can see the differences in it, and you've got the different directors on there, and you've got different people doing it, and I think just all of that in one really is just being able to walk around and you see a picture and that takes me back to that moment.
Oh, it must be so surreal walking and seeing everything for you guys.
It is, but it is for us. But I bet there'll be fans who turn up and sit and they'll say, I remember that one. I went to see that with my brother or my sister or whoever. I went to see that film with them. So it'll take them back as well.
But I guess for you guys, it's like you're looking around, you're like, oh, that was a massive part of my actual life. Must be quite
I think
cool.
so, yeah. I don't know, I don't really think about it like that.
I don't think of it as a 10-year block of filming. I think of it as the individual moments when we're filming, even just specific scenes. So things we're doing while they were being shot. So like there's a photo of the burrow.
Yeah.
And I remember when we filmed the second movie, we were all just hanging out in the living room of the burrows.
Very jealous.
Without filming, because they were filming in the kitchen. And when they were trying, because it was quite a tight space, we had to move out of there. So instead of going off the stage, we all just went into the...
I've always wanted the Weasley family clock.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's one of my favourite pieces from the Burrow.
Well, there is a bit of a nugget on that one when you watch the second movie.
Oh.
So you know when the hand's moving, and they tell you where people are. Bill and Charlie were actually the guys who played our doubles. So there's 2 sets of twins.
Well, that's a sneaky little fact. Exclusive.
Is that known?
I don't know, but it is now.
It is now. Okay, so I'm going to leave on one more question. And that is, we're sitting in London's only Butterbeer bar right now, which is absolutely beautiful. I mean, I'm assuming that's Butterbeer in there.
Yep.
Are you fans of Butterbeer?
I am.
And have you had one today?
We've had more than one today. Yeah.
Oh, how many Butterbeers have you had?
Well, I think I'm 3 and you're about
4.5.
Yeah. It's non-alcoholic, so anyone can have it.
Yes, they can.
But there's, but yeah, I mean, as you say, like the thing about the whole place here, again, going back to that immersive environment, is that they've made it look like a genuine bar. They've got like all the brasswork piping going all over the shop.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's just really, really well thought out.
It's very magical, and I can't wait to have a bit of a snoop after this. But that's it. Thank you very much for both of your time.
That's all. No, thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a magical thumbs up, and I will leave your links down below. You've got Instagram. Follow you.
Thank you.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.